Hello, 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 and welcome back to day two of the Beyond the Book Media Indie Author Showcase. Up next, we have with us Miss Schemeka Brown, and she is our indie author of the evening for our 6:30 hour time frame. And so, welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
And I'm sorry I said Brown, but it's Bowrin.
Owen.
Bowrin. Okay, I'm sorry. I saw the Thank
It's
you.
okay.
My apologies, Miss Schemeka. But you are doing wonderful and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this evening to talk about your book. And so thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
So my name is Schemeka. I am out of the DMV area.
Okay.
Born and raised. I am a single mom to seven children. I have one son and six daughters. I am an artist and brand, so I do have two businesses. One is a consulting business, and the second is an artist and brand skincare and consulting business.
Okay, all right. Multifaceted. I say, hey, multiple streams. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so you already told us a little bit about your brand. What type of services is it that you offer? Because we have people coming in, so we'll just say it.
Sure. So I am a certified life coach and I specialize in family, more specific to motherhood. So I help moms gear um, toward recovering from toxic parenting, which is a main focus of mine. I help post abortive moms. That's a very heavy passion for mine. So any woman that has experienced an abortion for any reason, no matter what the circumstances are, I help her to get back to her, to embrace all things that life has to offer, whether it be having another child or, just embracing, whatever part of her life that she is in at that moment. I help single moms to healthily co parent, especially after heartbreak and situations that are less than amicable. When a breakup occurs, and I help moms who are
Mhm.
single and we're not in a relationship, but they do find themselves becoming mothers, and I help them cope with those situations as well. And on the
Oh,
artist side,
wonderful.
I create my own skincare brand. So I make shea butters, I have body oils, I do sugar scrubs, and I do them all with my hands.
Oh, wow. Using the gifts that you have. I love it. Okay. So how has writing your book helped to launch your brand or bring your brand more to the forefront, I guess I should say.
So it gave me my lane. I often heard lots of people talking about the pains of a daddy pains, the heartbreak from fathers. But I knew that there was specific pain that moms cause, but we don't talk about it. It's almost like a taboo section subject. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was able to kind of gain perspective because I was that mom. And so I figured when people want to hear messages, they usually want to hear it from the messenger. They don't want to hear it third party. They don't want to hear, well, so and so experienced this. They want it from the person. So I was able to deliver my experiences, the things that I did that were not good, as a parent that were toxic, and how I recovered and have now a very healthy relationship with all of my children.
Wow, wow, wow. That is beautiful because so many people grow up and have so many different attitudes and personalities simply because they weren't parented well. I applaud you for that. So tell us about your book in 5 sentences or less. Tell us about it.
Sure. So my book specifies the recovery process. So I tell my story. I talk about specific instances where I was a toxic parent and my children were greatly affected. I talk about the process that I use to recover, and I give tips. And I also give myself as an make myself a resource to parents that are experiencing and want to recover from this process.
Okay. So tell us, what is the title of your book?
It's called The Labor of Love Recovering from Toxic Parenting.
The labor of love, recovering from toxic parenting. I am so in love with that because I think it is so needed. And let me ask a question. Is it for the parents only, or do you find that people that may be adults now, maybe not even be a parent in their own life, but they experience that from their parent, do you think that they can utilize this book in your services as well, or is it specific to those that are the parents?
I think it's helpful for anyone, whether they experienced it or not, because I wrote it to be a helpful tool.
Okay.
I want people to be able to read it and be like, oh, this may not be me, but I think this might be, my aunt or,
Hmm.
someone who they may be close to. And it can be used as a resource.
Okay. So you told us about the book, you told us the name of the book. So tell us what inspired you to write the book in a little more detail. You gave us a little bit of it, but tell us what inspired you to write it.
I'm a lover of motherhood, but you know something? I really want to be able to talk about the things that we don't get to talk about in motherhood. There aren't always good parts of motherhood. Like sometimes it's hard. And one
Yeah.
of the harder parts is just, when you are the parent that messed up and it has affected your children. For me, this was that area, like I know that I gravely affected my children in this area. I know that it affected them. I have adult children that were impacted by this behavior. And I just wanted to be able to, one, I wanted it to be where we are not repeating the cycle without having something to help us. So if we're doing this, here's something that can help us to get back on track. I want people, especially children affected, to know that there is grace for recovery. Children, no matter what the age are, they are so receptive to forgiveness. I learned that because I have different age ranged children, and asking them for forgiveness was pivotal in this particular journey. And from my adult children all the way down to my little children, we're very forgiving without condemning, without holding any grudges. So I know that it is possible because I was able to do this, and if for like if in any instance, like someone doesn't turn, this doesn't impact them right away, it's still plants the seed. So in the long run, you still have an idea. Like you still
Mhm.
know, like, you know what? I may not be receiving this right now, but there's still something for you to think about in the long run, of a parent, especially a parent who is willing to try and do the necessary work to better that relationship.
Man, this is needed for all of our viewers. Thank you again for watching. This is a book that I think will help change the trajectory of our community and the change the trajectory of our children and their confidence level and how they respond and react to situations. This is beautiful. It had to be what I let me say this. What I loved about how you started off is that you said that oftentimes we always attribute things to the father, and the mothers rarely look at themselves and say, what are you adding to the situation? Maybe they say, well, I don't talk about their father in front of them, but you do other things that cause that rift between them and their father, even them and yourself. And the father gets the bad rap on most of the things, and we don't look at the mother because most times the mother is in the home. Do you find that to be the truth?
Oh, absolutely. I was that parent. I never talked about my children's father negatively. From not from the things that he wasn't doing, or not from anything. I just didn't. But guess what? There were resentments, there was anger,
Yeah.
so maybe I didn't say things like, oh, you're just like your father, or oh, you remind me of your father. But there were those times where I snapped a little bit too hard, because I was just,
Mhm.
frustrated. And that reminder, or there was that yell that, should have been at a level 6, but I took it up to a level 8 because there was that reminder. Those are levels of toxicity. Like anytime you are taking and you are displacing your anger for the specific situation, that's toxic. Like if my child did not wash the dishes, his father should not be a part of why I am upset at him for not washing the dishes. It has nothing, one has nothing to do with the other. So I had to learn how to mentally balance that, and there were things that I had to do outside of the home to be able to do that.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Because most times we do displace or project our feelings, and I tell people all the time, life is energy. So even if you didn't say you did that, you act just like your father or your cousin or your auntie or whomever, you, that energy is what makes the situation go from bad to worse, or causes an even deeper tear in the relationship. So this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So who is your books for specifically?
My book is for any parent that feels like they have messed up. This book is for you. You have the opportunity to recover. I specialize in coaching in this area. Men and women can recover from this area. And honestly, your children are waiting for you. You know, your
Mm.
children are waiting for you. They are waiting for you to come to them as whole parents and as kingdom parents. You know, as believers, we are kingdom parents. We don't parent our children the way that the world parents. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. It just means that in an effort to build the kingdom more effectively, it is saying, I made a mistake right here. So I'm going to repent because that's not of the Lord. And I'm going to ask God to really give me the navigation that I need so that I can be a better kingdom parent, because kingdom parents produce kingdom children. And that's how you kill the cycle so that your children will not become parents. And guess what? The cycle of toxicity will not exist in your children's children, because guess what? You've taken the necessary steps to do the work in yourself. So this book is literally for anyone.
I am writing down what you said because I want to be able to go back and see this in the comments for myself. I love that you said kingdom parents produce kingdom children. That is powerful. And our children are waiting on us. That is beautiful. But let me say, many of us are waiting on our parents still. That's why we cannot reconnect with our kids, and we don't have the um wherewithal to say, hey, forgive me, I did it wrong. Because just thinking about my own life, most of us said to ourselves, I'm not going to be like my mom. I can't wait till I get a grown and I'm going to be so different. And then we find that cycle, we became that same person, and then our children are saying the same thing, and then it's trickling down. And so this is a means of breaking these generational curses, that generational blessings will flow. I love it. I love it. I love it. So where can people purchase your book?
My book is on Amazon and it is as titled The Labor of Love: Recovery from Toxic Parenting.
Okay, okay, okay. And what are the top three takeaways? Top three takeaways.
The recovery is possible. You can have a great relationship with your children even if you were a former toxic parent, and this book can be a tool for anyone.
Wow, I love it. So how can people connect with you? What are your
Sure.
social?
So my social media handles are Schemeka B on Instagram. So my first name and then my last initial, and Schemeka C Bowrin on Facebook. Those are the two main platforms that people connect with me on.
You said Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. Shamika. I'm gonna spell your name for people that may be trying to find you,
Oh,
because it's like no, seriously, because your
I
name
know.
may be before, and so you have that C in there, may throw some people off. So I wanted to make sure that I add that social media, IG and Facebook at ShamikaB.com. I'm just gonna say at Shamika B. Yeah, there we go. Yes. Oh, this has been wonderful, wonderful, wonderful information. I love that we are delving. What I see about your book is that we're delving back into family. We're trying to make family whole again. And I think this is a necessary tool to do just that. Teaching parents and maybe group homes or whomever have our children that someone needs to apologize for whatever it is that has caused them pain. And it starts with the adults. Many a times we want the children to follow us and do what we say, but are we leading them in the kingdom way, as you said? And when we find that we're not, when we turn back and confess and repent, then we should also turn, when we turn to God and confess and repent, then we should also confess and repent to our children and say, please forgive me because I have wronged you. And then start the healing process from there. So your book, is it a book or a journal? Is it both, or how is it? What is
It's
it?
actually it's a book. It's a short read, and it actually is a part of a series. So I do, have the next part to come out is going to be the labor of love, mother wounds. So I'll be specifically talking about things that moms have, my story, how I inflicted pain that directly affected my children, and how what tools I use to be able to break that and gain healthy relationships. So I'm going to start taking content from the book and breaking it down into different books. So it's a part of a series.
Oh wow, that is beautiful. Part of a series. And so as you know, with the Arthur Showcase, we are giving away prizes, and I hear that you have a lovely giveaway for some lucky winner. Let me tell everybody that's watching, in order to win, you must be registered at www.beyondthebookmedia.com/Arthur Showcase. Go there and register. Our winner will be selected from there and notified accordingly. So, what is it that you have to give to that lucky winner?
I have a copy of my book.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Is it signed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you got to tell them all so they can be like, okay,
Yeah,
people have to start claiming their gifts. And there's so many beautiful books that are being given away that we want to make sure they know this is a signed copy. So when she gets on Oprah, you can say, I had her book first. I know her. I won her book. I already know about Miss Brown, Miss Bowrin. You can say that. I don't know why I want to keep calling you Brown, but Miss Bowrin, you can say, I knew her first before she got on Oprah, before she sat down with Robin Roberts. I knew her already. And so I have been, the conversation has been delightful. I want to say to those that are joining us that this is the season to give, and why not give these books? The books are here to help us build stronger relationships with self, with family, through processes of grieving and all types of things. But this particular book, The Labor of Love, is going to help us parents, us mothers specifically, but for all, to get back to understanding our children and asking for that forgiveness, because our children are waiting for us to say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't do it right. It didn't come with the playbook. It really did, because the Bible is the playbook, but
true.
I had not read the playbook thoroughly. And so I have now begun to rightly divide the playbook and understand it. And so there were some ways in which I wronged you, and it has scarred you or hurt you in some type of way. And we have to be okay with saying, I am sorry, as the parent, not looking at them as they're under me. They're my child, no matter how old they are. We have to learn how to say, I am sorry, because that takes us a long way, and it opens up the opportunity to build a new kingdom relationship that's built on the foundational principles of God. And so I'm excited that you have more to come. There's a more to the series, and you're going to break down each chapter. Is there anything else you want people to know about you, your coaching services, or anything like that?
I am excited about what's to come. I am building a community for moms where they can understand that it is okay to prioritize the me before mommy, because I think when we miss that, that also plays into us being toxic moms. So
Mm.
once you connect with me, I'll be happy to share all that I have to offer. But I'm very excited, and I'm so thankful for you guys having me this evening.
We are thankful that you took the plunge and the leap and said, hey, I'm going to get on there and I'm going to talk about my book. The goal here is really to have people start giving these really good books, these really good reads. Let's talk about a little bit before we go, your journey through writing. How has it really helped your brand? How has that helped you writing the book?
The writing is the easy part. I love it. I do writing as a means to another form of therapy when I am not in my therapist chair. I write love letters to God. I write angry letters to God. You know what I mean? Like, I give him my heart because I believe I'm gifted through writing. And so that's the thing I give to the world, but I also share it with Jesus in moments of intimacy with him, because it helps me to be able to write my feelings down. Some are share worthy, some I keep private. But my writing journey was absolutely beautiful. Some of the writing was in the wee hours of the morning. Some were late nights. Some were in the car where I'm like, oh, let me pull out my phone and do a voice record so that when I get home I can, transcribe it. So the process was beautiful for me.
Wow, I thought about that. I chuckled a little bit because that's when he speaks to me most when I'm driving. I'm like, now I'm driving his car, and you have those moments where he up there tickled at you saying, "Child," and then you have to say, "Ooh, let me get my phone." So I've learned to leave my phones in the holders so that when I need to go on the video, the voice record, I can say okay, and I can speak it. But yeah, that is something. But how has writing your book helped your brand? Has it really gotten you out in the on different platforms? What has your book done for you as far as your brand?
Yes, so I am breaking different ground. It
Okay.
definitely has laid the foundation. So now I have taken the leap and I'm like, you know what? I know we don't want to talk about it and it can be uncomfortable, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I'll go ahead and leap, you know what I mean? And I'll see, who wants to listen. And it turns out that, the audiences have been great and the opening, of different platforms have been great. So right now, this is a fruitful, like I'm feeling the it's like the manifestation of the harvest of doing the prior work.
Wow. That is beautiful. And let us say again where people can find your book. You said on Amazon. My team, somebody on the team will drop your link inside of the chat. But let me look over here. Let me get it to you. And that is beautiful. I love the fact that this book is out there. It's really delving into and giving women a safe space to say, hey, I messed up, I didn't have it all together, let me apologize. I really really Joshua de Sosa said that this is so true, just talking about the things that you've said, shared. Difference activation with TJ gave hearts. I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's see. Oh, Denise Harvey, love what you said about kingdom parents being kingdom parents. That's something that we all have to strive for. Many of us didn't get it right because we didn't necessarily have those as an example, but we get to be that example. And so I really am excited about that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I am so excited about everything that you've shared. I think it is time. If you have not gotten your copy, please get your copy of Schemeka's book. It is time that we give things to people that will matter, things that will change lives. And I think this book will be one of those. The labor of love is a book that I think, the labor of love, recovery from toxic parenting. I think this will help so many people. And even if you don't know of a person or you're not that person, maybe there's an organization that help individuals that are processing these types of traumas. Buy the book and give it to an organization. How about that? Be a
How
blessing.
about that?
I love it. Thank you so much, Schemeka, for sharing with us tonight. We really, really appreciate your time. We look forward to hearing great things from you. And don't forget to follow her on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Schemeka B. And she'll be happy to talk to you more about what she offers as far as her coaching services and help you walk through the stages of becoming that toxic person, not becoming that toxic person, or not being that toxic person anymore. I think that this is a gift that will keep on giving. So be sure to give it if you can. Purchase it today and win the prize. Don't forget to register at www.beyondthebookmedia.com/Arthur Showcase. Do not forget to purchase the book so that you can give it to somebody this holiday season. Thank you so much, Schemeka. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. We thank you again, and we will be back here in 5 minutes at 7 p.m. with our next Indie Arthur. Do not miss it. Come on back. Thank you.
Thank you.